Today's lesson is going to be on reducing fractions. This is also referred to as simplest fractions or putting fractions in lowest term. So what we're doing here when we're looking to reduce fractions is we're looking to be able to divide both parts of the fraction by the same number. So the best way to know if you can reduce a fraction or not is to try dividing by 2. So if both numbers are even, you can divide by 2. If 2 doesn't work for them, you should try 3. If neither number can be divided by 3 or one of them doesn't work, try 5 and try 7. Now those aren't the only numbers you can try dividing by. Some people like to try dividing by 4 or 6 or 8 or 9 or 10, any of those higher numbers. So these numbers in blue, you can still divide by them if your division skills are, if you recognize that they can be divided by them. If you have a hard time with division, then these will always work. If you can divide by 2, you can probably divide by maybe something higher, but if you're only dividing by these numbers, you might have to do a couple of more steps. So for example, this first one, 24 over 42. If I was looking at this and I was a student who wasn't very good at division, I would look at this and go, well, I don't know. I know they're both even, so I know I can divide both by 2. It's an easy number to divide by. It's just cutting it in half. So that's going to equal 21 out of, no, sorry, not 21. My mistake. 12 over 21. So we've reduced. However, you should still try and see if you can make that fraction smaller. So you still want to go back and go, can I divide by 2? Well, in this case, no, I can't because 21 is an odd number, so 2 is not going to work. I know 5 won't work because they don't end in a 5 or 0. I'm going to try 3. So I know 21 can be divided by, or 12 can be divided by 3, and I know that 21 can be divided by 3. If you're not sure, you can always just use a calculator to check. But in this case, I'm doing the work for you, so yes, indeed, they can. 12 divided by 3, that is going to equal 4. And this one here will equal 7. So I know I'm in lowest terms just because if I were to try dividing again, I can't divide either of them by 2. I can't divide either of them by 3. And I don't even need to try anything higher because my highest number is 4. So I should never try dividing by anything higher than 4. With this example, however, if I did that same example, 24 over 42, I could save myself a whole lot of work if I saw that I could have divided by 6. So I'm picking one of those higher numbers there. If I divided by 6, I would get the answer 4 over 7 right away. So it is better if you can find the highest number you can divide by, but if you can't, you'll always still be able to get to the answer, just in a different way. So let's take a look at this next example here, 27 over 36. So again, I'm going down my list. I can't divide by 2. 27 is an odd number. I know 5 doesn't work. 5 is an easy one to cancel out. So 3. So if I were to use my calculator to check, I would see that yes, I could divide that by 3. And I could divide that by 3. So that's going to equal 9 over 12. And I would go through the process again. 2 doesn't work. 3 does work. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So again, it took me 2 steps to get to that final answer. However, if I had done 27 over 36, and I was a bit better at division, I could maybe see I could divide by 9 right away. And if I divided by 9 right away, I would get to 3 over 4. So the idea here is to get down to the final answer using a way that is comfortable for you. Our next example is 42 over 49. So when I'm looking at the numbers in pink that I could try dividing by, 2 will not work because 49 is an odd number. So I would check 3. 3, maybe I need to use a calculator. 42 can be divided by 3, but it cannot be divided by 49. So that one won't work. Now maybe you would need to go and check that with your calculator to see that it's going to get you a decimal answer. 5's not going to work. You should be able to look at the last numbers and know that 5 will not work. So that means we're going to try 7. If none of these work, this is probably in lowest terms. So dividing by 7, 42 divided by 7 is 6. And 49 divided by 7 is 7. So this one does actually work. This is now in lowest terms. I know it's in lowest terms because they are only one number apart, and that is the only number that they can be divided by. So that one is done. That took us one step. And the last one is 15 out of 25. So this might be easy to spot, but we'll go through the process anyways. 2 isn't going to work because they're both odd numbers. 3 will not work for 25. 5 is going to work because the last number here is 5 and 5. So if it's a 5 or 0, it will work. So we're going to divide these by 5. That's going to equal 3 out of 5. Now, just to double check that it's in lowest terms, you would go through the process again. Can I divide by 2? No, they're both odd. Can I divide by 3? Well, 3 can, but 5 can't. And I don't need to check 5 or 7 because I shouldn't check anything higher than the top number. So since it doesn't go over 3, I don't need to even worry about dividing by 5 or 7. So this one again is done in one step. So lots of different ways to reduce fractions. You can use a couple different steps to divide, or you might get to the answer in one step.